Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be reviewing the final edition G550 G-Wagon. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with this G-Wagon. This particular one is still available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. If you have any questions, just ask for Dylan. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 13 around town and then 16 on the highway, with power outputs being 416 horsepower and then 450 pound-feet of torque. And it looks like this is the last year you'll be able to get this engine in the G550. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood on this final edition, this one's finished in the satin white paint, which looks absolutely fantastic. It's got like a little bit of, I don't know if you can see, kind of like a metallic sheen to it. It's really cool. Of course, got the signature turn signals there on the hood. And then this comes with the chrome brush guard, and then you've got the lighter colored headlights with this package as well. And so it has that kind of like classic G-Wagon appearance. 275/50/20 in the front and in the rear for the tire and wheel setup. You can see you've got, again, kind of like a classic look on the wheels with the silver and the black, and then it go for like massive oversized wheels like 22s, for example, that they'll sometimes put on the G-Wagon. So just good proportions, I'd say. Really nice body painted fender flares, and then this is kind of dorky, but I don't know if I can be able to pick it up on camera. It says final edition here in the trim. See if the camera will pick it up if I get close enough. There you go. And you can see it just says final edition like a bunch of times all down the trim pieces here on the side. That's one of the big things to show that it's a final edition. So when you look at the side profile, you can kind of see the print from a distance, so you notice that there's something there, but it's not too flashy with the fact that it's the final edition. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function with the Mercedes logo, and then you have this cool G logo there on the back that you normally don't get on the G550 key fob. And popping into the back, first off, you've got the beautiful quilted design here. And look at the wood trim on the handle. And then this has, as you can see, special wood trim down below. This is also in the G Professional. But yeah, really cool and really nice finish to it. I will say that it has like a very solid feel. But anyways, we've got a cargo cover built in as well. And I think this is the best angle to show the headliner. So you've got this cool kind of like stitching design on the headliner. The headliner's leather in this. You can see even up here on the side, it's black leather. But it creates a very interesting kind of like tuxedo appearance inside this final edition. And we of course have to do the fun closing. You guys can see the taillight design here. And then look at the parking sensors at the bottom. You actually have a recovery point. And then final edition here as well. And the tire carrier. And then if I take a few steps back, kind of see that whole setup. Now popping inside, really nice leather trim here, and then look at the white leather down below with the quilted design, and then I love the wood trim, that's nice. Heated seat, speaker for the Burmester sound system, and then nice stitching down below. And then more of that on the headrest you can see with the perforated trim all down the center portion. Legroom back here is really solid. Got a little storage pocket. You can see some vents here in the back, got our own climate zone, USB ports as well. And then headroom, it's good. Now take a look at the front door panel again. Look at the leather trim and all of the trim down below that. This is so cool looking. Speaker for the Burmester sound system. Got all of our seat adjustments with the memory function. Heated, cooled seats. Got all of your window controls up top. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then you've got the nice leather seats up front. They're heated, cooled, like I said, massaging too, which is nice. Look at those pedals. And you got your light controls here, and then again more of that leather trim on the dash. It goes all the way across. And before I get in, we also have a final edition plaque here. There, that's cool. Now take a look at the steering wheel, really nice trim all around. I like how it's perforated on either side. Nice finish on everything. Got a bunch of parental controls here in the front with paddle shifters there on the back. You can see turn signal, windshield wiper stock. And then we do have a column shifter with this as well. And then taking a look at the gauge cluster, you can see full digital gauge cluster, which we can use to scroll through and see different bits of information. I find it interesting, this has almost 500 miles of range on a tank. You wouldn't think so with a big V8 and, you know, 16 miles per gallon. But yeah, there's your gauge cluster in the center. We do have a backup camera in reverse, directional lines turn with the steering wheel. Pretty solid resolution, but no 360 camera. Interesting. So this is not a touchscreen, so still everything's controlled with a dial, basically, keypad, all of that. Pretty easy system to use overall. And then down below you can see with the vents, and then we've got our controls for the locking diffs. So we've got center, front, and rear with the locking differentials. Climate controls down below that, little clock, the Mercedes logo. Got some storage here. I do like this wood trim. It's very grainy. Not as nice as the cherry wood there in the back though. Anyways, drive mode select, which drive modes will pop up here. In the center, you even have a desert mode. That's pretty cool. And then we've got our center console, good storage. Got a nice trim you can see on the side too. With this, it's like quilted. Look at that, for like your knee pad. And then this does say Final Edition there on the grab handle. The glove box. And then we kind of talked about it, but leather headliner, including the sun visors apparently. And then you just have a regular sunroof up top. If you've seen my Final Edition reviews before, you know this is going to be pretty expensive pretty fast. So base price of a G-Wagon, $143,000. Final Edition package is $39,750. Basically everything that we see in this, it adds it. The paint color is a $6,500 option on top of that. And then you have destination. So fully loaded G-Wagon, and then you choose your paint. $190,400. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then really good throughout the rest of the rear because you've got the big square windows and everything. I will say, it would be cool if the 550, you know, before they get rid of the V8, if they had given it the 360 camera like the 63. The brush guard is why they don't do the 360 camera, but they could have, I think they could have figured out a fix. But regardless, let us set off. This will be the last time that I'll probably be reviewing one of these 550s with a V8, unless I review some crazy used one for some reason. What I will say right off the bat is, man, nothing feels like a G-Wagon. Just the sound of the door locks is enough to make you question whether or not you should spend your entire life savings on a car. that's what G-Wagon life is all about. But in terms of the drive with this Final Edition, it drives like a regular G550. So the G550 is a little bit softer than the 63 with the suspension, which I don't think is a bad thing. I still do not understand. Like, I understand the point of the 63 from an engine perspective, but the G-Wagon is supposed to be like an off-road tank-like vehicle, so comfort, you know, I would say is probably the most important, not, you know, sporty handling. It's a big body-on-frame SUV. So yeah, it's G63 has always been confusing with the, I understand like the whole AMG thing, but yeah, this in my opinion makes more sense for a G-Wagon. But yeah, comfortable ride. And it just, you feel like you're driving a tank. And the V8 is so torquey, and there's just, it's like unlimited torque. No matter where you are on the power band, there's always something when it comes to torque, which I think is super cool. And then on top of that, it's such a luxurious interior with this Final Edition, with all the leather, with all the wood trim. It's really nice. Yeah, that's so cool with the sound. So we'll pop into the sport mode here. Ooh, that is aggressive. We are in the sport mode here, and we're gonna kind of... It's obviously not as fast as the G63, but this V8 is such a freight train of an engine. It's just so much torque. So much torque. And it really never ends. It's one of the things that I think is so cool about this powertrain. And the sound, it's just this deep, low rumble. You just can't beat that. So I know everyone's got the hots for the G63, but the G550, I've said this before, I think this is the G-Wagon to get. I think that it looks better with the styling, with the brush guard where it's at. It's still crazy fast. It's still got a V8 for now. Right, again, this is final edition. And yeah, it's a little bit, it's still an expensive vehicle, but it's a little bit more affordable than a G63. So let me know what you guys think about this final edition, and let me know if you'd get one of these, or if you'd get a base, because you get like a base model 63. Would you go final edition or base model G63?